Um, this evening, I want to give individual feedback to your assignment 1 submissions. The marks are not released yet. Remember, it takes a while to get the marks out. The marks get captured and checked and moderated and all sorts of things. It shouldn't take too long from now. And then there's some feedback as well. But I think it is a good idea to give you guys individual feedback. So what I want to do this evening, it's not going to be a full recorded session. Uh, I want to ask you to dial in one at a time. I'll spend some time with you on your submission. I'll share a screen with your actual submission. And when we're done, then the next student dials in. Kate, obviously, when you look at this recording, you will say, yeah, but what about you? We will make an arrangement, Kate. So we will take your feedback somewhere else. Brad, were you still planning to share your presentation this evening? Are you ready to do that?
Yes, I still have it with me now.
Let's do that, because last time we said we're a bit it was a bit tight, so we thought,
Yeah.
listen, let's wear that over. So let's do that. And then afterwards we start with the feedback. So if
Okay.
you are ready and you want to share, then the floor is yours. Thank you, Brad.
Hundreds. I will make it quick because I also want to get to the assignment part of it. Can you see
I,
my screen?
yes, I can see it perfectly. Yep,
Yeah.
looks good.
Okay, awesome.
I'm gonna mute my mic and
Cool. Thanks, Doc. Um, okay, so first of all, obviously we had the assignments, the role of innovation in the entrepreneurial envelope. As so I'm just trying to I didn't go through this again, to be honest, I should have. But within the envelope, I did see three key aspects where there would be competitive advantage, solving problems, and attracting investments. All three of these things I did study in my undergrad at UP, in my information science degree. So it it made more sense for me to approach these three as a whole. So at the bottom there, it obviously says innovation drives entrepreneurship by creating solutions and competitive advantages. For example, a with the competitive advantage, I'll get into it a little bit more in depth, but you've got Checker 60/60 and you've got Pick and Pay ASAP, which is a huge competitive advantage. Um, in South Africa, we demonstrate how innovation fuels business growth and economic resilience. This presentation explores its critical role in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So within the ecosystem, I'll go through with competitive advantage first. So it's a fundamental source of entrepreneurial innovation is a fundamental source of entrepreneurial competitive advantage. It enables businesses to differentiate, capture market share, and succeed in the long run. As the fast-moving and competitive landscape of today's world demands, it is not enough for entrepreneurs to offer merely a quality product or service. And a very good example of this um, would be your cell phones. So an Android device can do so much, a Apple device can do so much, but some of them, well, the Android might be more advantageous to a certain client base, and the iPhone might be more advantageous to another user base. So that's also where the innovation comes into play because iPhone, what they've picked up is that it's almost impossible to hack an iPhone. So if you work in IT, you're a business owner, you're more likely to have an iPhone, not only because it is well made and it's easy to use, but you'll use it because it's more secure. So that's where a competitive advantage can come into play. Additionally, innovation also fosters agility, allowing entrepreneurs to respond to evolving consumer needs and emerging trends. Companies that prioritize innovation not only gain first mover advantage, but also more loyalty to their brand and insulation to competition. So an example of that would be the Yoko card machines, the Yoko Innovations in South Africa. So there's another card machine company called Ikoka that was the first card payment system that made it easier for small companies or small enterprises to get into the card payments world. But Yoko did it better. Yoko made it more streamlined. They made it easier. They made the fees structured easier where someone can understand it more and easier. So yeah, Yoko definitely pioneered the competitive advantage in the uh, card payments industry. So my second point was attracting investments. Obviously, if you have a nice, cool invention, you want to go to Shark Tank and get your bag. You want to get some money out of it. So obviously, innovation is crucial for attracting investment in the entrepreneurial journey because investors seek ventures with high growth potential and a competitive edge. Personal example of that is at our company with QuickTag. It's obviously a brand new invention. It's an invention that can be used quite widely as well. And we have investors. We have millions and millions and millions of rands in debt, but because of the um, innovation, our investors have faith that it will play out in the end. So, additionally, whether through groundbreaking technology, intellectual property, or disruptive strategies, innovation builds investor confidence and increases access to funding, which are key drivers for scaling and sustaining a business. Without it, entrepreneurs struggle to capture attention in a crowded markets, making innovation essential for securing financial backing. For an example of that would be the Checker 6060, where it was a new innovation. I wouldn't say new because Mr. D and Uber Eats were doing it, but it was a new invention within the uh, big retailer side of it. And they have obviously seen immense growth with that. And then the other retailers then followed suit with Woolworths Dash, I think it is. We've got Pick and Pay ASAP as well. Um, but none of them are as streamlined and as effective as Check 6060, and hence why the investment was needed there, especially because of the innovation.
Brad,
Um,
were they the first guys to roll this out? Was there a bit of a first mover advantage thingy also?
yeah, so Checkers was the first retailer to do um a delivery service. If it wasn't for Uber Eats, because not Uber Eats, Mr. D was the first delivery service when it came to the end user for
Yeah,
food specifically. It was Mr. D. And then obviously that grew and innovation came to play to the retailers where they thought, okay, well, you could just do your whole groceries instead of just your Friday night meal on payday.
yeah.
So yeah, I think it was quite a good
You
move
know,
on,
you know,
on
it's so
their side.
interesting. The other day I heard someone say, sorry to interrupt you.
No, no, no.
Someone said, I was at a KR and someone said, let's just 60-60 something. So
Yeah.
they sort of householded this brand,
Mm,
turned it into a verb. It's like they say,
yes.
when that happens, there's a lot of business school cases on that. Overseas, they say you Xerox a document. Or over here, you will find people talking about Omo when they talk about washing powder in general.
Yes.
Uh, Another overseas example, they will say you hoover your carpets, where
Mm,
the
mm.
Hoover brand is there. So it's very nice if you get that sort of
Play on
making your
words.
brand, the dominant
Mm,
one, that is almost sort of personifies that service, eh?
mm.
Very, very interesting. And I mean, visibility wise, you
Yes.
see the 60-60 guys much more than the others, eh? That's sort of riding
Mm.
on the back of that.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah, and
interesting
that's
points.
a good
Mm.
example of that would be another personification would be Google it. So
Oh,
Google
Google
it
it.
was
Sure,
actually, yeah, it was added into the dictionary.
sure. Ah,
Yeah.
good
So that was
point.
also a very interesting one.
Sure. Thank you.
So yeah, on my third innovation would be solving problems. So innovation is the engine of problem solving in entrepreneurship, transforming challenges into opportunities. I think that's a very good trait in a entrepreneur, where you will see the challenges, find the opportunities in it, make the plays towards the opportunities, and then obviously build from there. So successful ventures don't just fix surface issues, they reimagine solutions through creative products, smarter processes, or disruptive technologies. This this innovative approach to problem solving creates unique values, builds customer loyalty, and drives market differentiation. The most impactful businesses treat obstacles as catalysts for innovation, developing solutions that reshape industries. And I'll go back to it because that's such a good example. It's obviously the 60/60. They then came up with the problem, well, they identified the problem, came up with the solution and found the opportunity, and then just went at it. And they are absolutely smiling at the moment. Um, and then lastly, by making problem solving innovation a core strategy, entrepreneurs turn everyday pain points into competitive advantages and sustainable growth. So as a young boy that started or tried, I would say, to start multiple businesses here and there and made some money out of that one, lost some money out of that, and failed a lot of times. A lot of the times when I was making money and made something successful was when I tried to identify a problem because problems solve and through a problem, there's always an opportunity to solve something. So I think that innovation in general through the entrepreneurial envelope is, yeah, it's punitive. It's very important. And then yeah, there's just my references that I used. But yeah, that's about it, Doc.
Thank you. Very interesting, very thought-provoking. Some good points raised there. Yeah, it's interesting how entrepreneurs really make problems disappear. Hey? If you look at Yoko,
Mm,
and it's so funny. I mean, Yoko came from out of nowhere, hey, from a dizzy height.
yeah.
And you can sort of imagine the picture in your head while the other banks were sitting around their boardrooms thinking how we can do this, how we can do that. Yoko just snuck right in past them and started doing the doing it, eh? So yeah,
Yeah,
very
exactly that. And
interesting.
now we've got the Nedbank. So the Nedbank card machines were always around, and the FNB card machines were always around, but they were never so streamlined for the smaller guys. And
Mm,
now we see Capitec as being the easiest bank to get a bank account is
mm.
now the easiest bank to get a card machine as well. So Capitec is just there to make people's lives easier. Personally, I don't use Capitec, but Capitec is a absolute player in the banking industry in South Africa.
I think the next big thing. Good evening, Cameron. Welcome.
Hi, Doc. Thank you.
I think the thing we should be looking out for Capitec, typically, they start getting some market share and then they fall into a growth trap where suddenly there's too many people and then they lose that sort of culture and service delivery starts slipping. It's a
Hmm.
typical thing, medical aids, discovery, smaller fund, things were good. When I get too big, it's very easy for them then to slip up on things. But yeah, very
Yes.
interesting. Cameron, this evening, so we started with Brad doing his presentation, like you saw now from Overflow from last week.
Yes, yes.
What I'm going to do now, Cameron, is to give you guys individual feedback on assignment one. The marks are not ready yet. Um, I reckon it will be published soon, but I want to give you guys just some feedback. Now, you're not going to do some more individual assignments, but I think the feedback is good to take into consideration with your group assignment that's coming up.
Perfect.
So because I'm going to do it individually and sort of confidentially, I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna let's start with you, Brad. Cameron, I'm going to ask you to jump out and then you dial in again at 6:30. Can we do that?
Perfect. No problem.
I'm going to switch the recording off, so obviously I'm going to keep it 100% confidential, my discussions with you guys. And I'm going to keep an eye on the time. And at 6:30, then Brad's going to leave and you're going to dial in, Cam, and then
100%.
we take it from there.
Thanks, Doc. I'll
All
jump out
right.
now.
Thanks you. Thanks. I'm going to stop the recording. Stop. Okay, folks.